All right, so let's continue, Vic. So we left off. Why don't we start off with our next character, who will be Krillin? What do you think about Krillin and his role in Team 7?
A lot of people don't like Krillin in this. I like him in this because he makes sense.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people do. They don't. They think he's weak and stuff. They, like I said, they're looking into the rest of the universe, which we've already explained in the previous part that Krillin does all of them. He even, I'm telling you, he'll, at very least, you guys gotta give him credit enough that after all this time and stuff, that he would have been almost as strong as Pikey-Han, and he has potential to be stronger. Because, like I said, Pikey-Han took him 10,000 years or something like that to get that strong. Krillin is as powerful as he is in a span of like a human's life. That's it, you know. And he has potential being stronger. And the way I'm gonna explain is really, Dragon Ball Super has there's no you don't need to explain like a creative reason to get guys stronger or just saying that they are. I don't like that. There is a way to make these characters stronger, and it's within the franchise or the stories. And the way to do that is you got to utilize all what they did in the past to get characters stronger, which is Spirit and Temple Time. You have Elder Kai, and you also have Holy Water, amongst other things. And I'm going to explain all these guys real quick. So with Krillin, the way I would have did, instead of making him saying, oh, I am just strong and stuff, no. He didn't put any time in the Spirit and Temple of Time, mind you, when the whole Cell games happened, because he just conceded to the fact that he wasn't going to be a factor against Cell. And
Right.
I didn't like that at the time. I don't like that to this day, but let's utilize that. Fine. Now he has an entire session he could do in there. He could do an entire year and a half in there easily and stuff. You know, saying within that time, because mind you, time is irrelevant with that. You know, saying when you
Right.
use that, so he could
So I
do
love
that.
it. Yeah.
And another thing I would do too is he never really kind of got trained by King Kai. And in the Buu saga, they kind of showed that when Majin Buu, Piccolo, Gotenks, and Trunks were in there, that you could hold multiple characters within the Spirit and Temple of Time. Before it was just a
Right.
rule of two. But now
Right.
it seems like, with Dende upping it and stuff and, putting more power in it and recreating it to his own image, there really isn't really like a set limiter to how people could be in there. That's where I would utilize these characters. I would put him in there, and for first time ever, he's getting trained by King Kai. In which case, I would have the reintroduction of Kaioken, not just Goku using it, but with him using it
Right.
as well. That's what I would do. And imagine he comes out a year and a half being trained by King Kai in that kind of scenario, learning Kaioken and other techniques. Come on, this dude's going to be strong as what they showed him recently. But that's more of a justification of how he got that strong, other than saying
That fast.
he just
Yeah.
is. I don't
Yeah.
like that. That's what I would have did.
But it is safe to say that he is stronger than he was before.
Easily,
Yeah.
by far. You know what I'm saying?
'Cause
By
I think
far.
that's where the fans that don't like him being there, I think they're forgetting that is, like you said, because they haven't justified it, they don't really realize how much stronger he has become since the last time, he fought
Well,
for the
yeah,
last time.
because they haven't justified it. But if you say and explain the way I just did,
Then it
that's
justifies
it. It
it.
justifies
Yeah.
it, and no one will
Yeah.
argue that fact. You know what I'm saying?
And it
Nobody would.
gives his character more of a bigger arc too, because now it's like you said, now he's been trained by somebody who trained Goku, and now there'll be a different aura about him. Like you would see and feel more of the change than the way that they have it now, where it's like it's so quick that it's hard for you to grasp like that he has changed.
I mean,
Yeah,
another
I mean-
thing too I would do was also throwing in King Kai into the mix. When Goku first arrived to his planet, Goku a little bit before that, he ate some kind of forbidden fruit within heaven that made his power double. If King Kai, which he has access to that because he has it on his planet, he brings that down to Krillin. Krillin can easily ingest that and stuff and double his power as well. You know what I'm saying?
There you
Which
go.
which is another multiplier, which, like I said, would justify him being as strong as they're showing him right now, where he's fighting Super Saiyans and stuff, hanging with them and all that. So if you do that, yeah, you have something.
And it shows that he's smart too. So if you combine his power with he's definitely a smart fighter, just because he's had to have fought stronger people. So he's like, well, if this is a tournament that's out of bounds, then I got to play it smart.
Well, he's a
So-
true martial artist, and the thing I like about him, which makes him like one of my favorite characters, is that whenever somebody, and I've done martial arts and I train. Whenever somebody was smaller than other people, they really didn't have the power to go out there and contest with these guys. So what they had to do is make up for the lack of strength with technique. And that's what I feel like he's done, because he's always been the underpowered guy, and that he had
Right.
to make up for that with technique, which is what I like. But I want them to explain that. I don't just want them just to be like, Boom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and so I think that validates why Krillin is on the team. So the next person on that team is Tien, somebody we haven't seen for a while, who's created a lot of a lot of techniques that a lot of our Dragon Ball Z fighters use to this day. What do you think about Tien being on Team 7?
Well, Tien, as you know, is one of my favorite characters ever and stuff because he's not the strongest character, no doubt. But I like the fact that, so he was the one, he's a game changer. Mind you, no one was flying before Tien came around. Tien was the first character to actually fly. Tien was the first person to teach other characters how to fly. And Tien created most of the techniques that we see today in Dragon Ball Super.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's one of the reasons I like. And also, Tien's also the first person to whoop Goku's ass, really, you know what I'm saying? And, legitimately, too. The only thing I don't like about Tien and Dragon Ball Super is that out of everybody who's fucking just became powerful and shit, he's the one guy. Yeah, he did get stronger, no doubt. But he's the one guy that, like, he didn't get drastically stronger the way everybody else did, like, insanely stronger. Actually, what I thought he would have been one of the strongest members of the team is actually, like, one of the weakest, I think.
Probably
I think he is the weakest. I think he is. I mean, there was always a rumor, like, who was stronger, him or Krillin and stuff. I always felt like it was him just based off of history. But, Akira said that, no, it was Krillin. He's the strongest human. I never liked that. But, I felt like with him and being in it, I felt like they could definitely make him stronger. If they made everybody else that strong, and he's the guy who's consistently been training and did not stop like Gohan and Krillin, he should have been way stronger than what he was. The way I would have made him stronger, once again, just like Krillin, he didn't utilize the Spirit and Temple of Time because he conceded to the fact that Cell was more powerful and that he couldn't have been a factor. Even though he did help out within that that last battle against Cell. I would have had him utilize that. And while he was in there, I would have kind of did some kind of soul searching and stuff because he's really one of the few characters that did not get trained by Master Roshi, which I'm going to explain in a minute where I think Master Roshi should fit in all this. I would have had Master Roshi kind of do that soul searching thing like he did with Krillin. I would have did that with Tien because Tien has that third eye, and that third eye right now has just been an accessory. But in Dragon Ball, they explained that he was like his people are able to unlock the technique and stuff with that eye. We don't really know exactly what they could do with it. Now that could be this is where the writers could play with it and stuff, making some type of like Sharingan or whatever, or Byakuken. But they could go out there and play with that and stuff. And I would have used that within the Spirit and Temple of Time, or I would have brought Elder Kai into this. This is where I would have fit him in it. It takes a certain period of time for him to unlock someone's potential the way he did with Gohan. He said that it takes a certain amount of time. He had within that 40-hour limit. He could have done it if they would have jumped on it real quick. And then he could have said, you know what, I can even make you stronger than Gohan possibly because I could have you unlock the potential of that eye, and I'll show you how. And they could have used that within the Spirit and Temple of Time because, mind you, time is irrelevant in there. Why don't you bring Elder Kai, King Kai in there? Well, King Kai is training Krillin, and Elder Kai is training Yamcha to unlock that eye, the potential of it. And imagine how powerful he will come out. Comes out with that eye. You know what I'm saying? Where he's like the master fucking of the Three Eye Clan. And he's like fucking crazy powerful. And maybe even throw Master Roshi in there where he's also training him stuff. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like other techniques and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or how to unlock that eye. While Master Roshi's training him how to unlock that eye, Elder Kai is just really unlocking his potential the way he did with Gohan. That's what I would have did.
And again, I feel like on the surface, again, like we talked about before with giving a reason why they're that powerful. I feel like his role in this team is to be the guy that just comes out with all these techniques to kind of buy time for some of the stronger characters, and they'll be cool looking techniques, but at the end of the day, it would be a lot cooler that the guy who's actually doing these techniques is strong. And that leads us to one of the last members we're going to talk about in this episode.
Yeah, the one guy that I cannot validate him being there. I don't care how the fuck they want to say it. Like, oh, he's been trained this whole time. So if you've been trained this whole time, then why didn't you handle the Saiyans when they first came down? Why didn't you fucking handle Piccolo? Because this is the thing. I mean, like the thing I don't like about him and then saying that, oh, he's been trained this whole time. Mind you, Future Trunks debunks that. And the way he debunks that is that the androids killed all the humans, all the Saiyans, all the Namekians in that world. Everybody who was strong died. Master Roshi, who wasn't strong because they never established him being that guy, was hiding in a submarine with Oolong and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And Par, you know what I'm saying? And Yajirobe, and I believe also, where they were hiding away in a submarine underneath the ocean because they didn't even want to engage the androids. So if you got that strong from training this whole time to fight someone like Goku, you know what I'm saying? And actually, I think he was gonna beat Yamcha. I mean Tien. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
how powerful he was. What the fuck? There is no justification of that. So I'm gonna put that out there, and all the fans agree with that. You know what I'm saying? That's the one
Yeah.
thing we're all universal on. You can't justify that when they showed the future, and this guy was cowering in the submarine and stuff because he couldn't play a factor. He couldn't get strong enough in that much amount of time.
Well, unfortunately, it seems like we talked about before, Super being comedy first, action second. It seems that Master Roshi is there, and they're trying to validate why he's there as far as being strong. But honestly, he's there for comedic relief.
Yeah, he
They
could be
just-
there
they
for
put them there.
comedic relief, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
what they could have done was have him like in a relative. The way I would have did it is have him a coach.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
know, like what's a coach on a baseball team or a football team or whatever. They're fat, they're out of shape, maybe they were athletic at one time, but they ain't anymore. Okay,
Yeah.
so they've been relegated to go out there and pass on knowledge to other players. You know, what I'm saying, who are capable of doing. That's what I see Master Roshi being. He's their mentor. Let him be the guy training them and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Let him be the guy like off the side who's actually calling out shots to them and stuff. Krillin, watch out. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Goku and Gohan combine Kamehame-Has on so and so. You know what I'm saying? Like let him be a coach. Let him be a mentor to these guys. Don't let him be an actual participant in this. Like he's gonna play a factor, which they're gonna have him, I guess, play a factor.
Somehow,
Don't
yeah.
you know? Come on, you can't do that. Like you guys gotta be smarter in this. That's the thing I don't like about Dragon Ball Super right now. Is like they're getting very ridiculous with some of this stuff. You can't justify some of these guys when there's no justification of that. You know,
Yeah.
when there's
Yeah, I think-
everything throughout the series just contradicts everything they wrote prior.
And I think that was something we touched on before, where, again, we understand that this is a comedy series first. There's a limit to when it becomes just kind of just super contradictory and just a little bit too ridiculous. And I feel like having Master Roshi on the team is just, I don't think any fan was calling for that. I don't recall anybody saying, you know what, I want Master Roshi to be on the team as a fighter.
I would have had it where like maybe for 24 hours he was able to like have all the old martial art masters and stuff, you know what I'm saying, who conceded to the fact this guy was stronger than him, like including Son Gohan, you know, Goku's grandfather, kind of pour all the energies into him and make him a superhuman where he got that strong. For 24 hours he was able to sustain that power.
At the end of the day, it comes down to, like you said, giving a little bit more backstory, a little bit more story on the growth of these characters, rather than just kind of just having them be this quickly strong. And in Master Roshi's case is really making sense over comedy. But yeah, that's going to do it for part 2. Now, we know we left somebody / another person out, but we're going to talk about that exclusively on the next episode, and we'll be going into more detail about that. But that'll do it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching us. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. What did you think about our picks of part 2 of this team? And thanks for watching as always, and we'll see you next time.